How do I really use my planner on a daily or weekly basis? Well, today I want to give you one great example. So stay with me. Well, hi everyone. This is Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And today I want to talk to you about how I really use my planner. I get comments from people all the time that say, yeah, your planner looks cute. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, you seem very organized, but how do you really use it on a daily or weekly basis? Well, today I just want to give you one example that has happened over the last couple of weeks. So let's jump into the computer and I will show you what's going on. Well, as you can see here on my screen, I have been enjoying strawberries, not only as my theme, but I've been picking strawberries and enjoying strawberries with a little bit of whipped cream for dessert every night. And I even was a bad girl and treated myself to a donut when I went strawberry picking. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about today. That's just an aside. What I wanted to talk to you about is how I use my planner kind of on a daily, weekly basis, okay? So let me scroll in and I will show you a few things here. All right, as you can see here, this is kind of my weekly task of things that were going on throughout the week. And I record, activities and assignments and meetings that I have and all of that kind of thing. So last Monday night, the 5th of June, I had a church council meeting down here, and I knew that I wanted to bring up the subject of homecoming, which normally happens for us in September. Okay, so I made myself a note so that when I went to the meeting, I would know if the subject didn't come up that I wanted to broach the subject of homecoming. All right. Now, with my computer open and doing the Zoom meeting for the council meeting, I also took a few notes when homecoming was discussed. And I put those right here in my notes section. And it says church homecoming. I had three action items for myself personally that came out of that meeting. So I needed to send pictures to the pastor. And I also needed, there was some discussion about polo shirts or tote bags or some other kind of, memorial remembrance. It is the 150th year of our church, so it's kind of a big deal for us. So we wanted to do something to commemorate that. So we talked about polo shirts, we talked about reprinting tote bags that we had done in the past, that kind of thing. So that was also an action item for me. And then we also were looking at maybe doing a rededication of the cornerstone of our building. Again, 150 years is a long time. So I needed to contact someone about that rededication ceremony. Okay. So those notes went on my page, while the meeting was going on Monday. Now, I put the notes there and then I went back and added a tag that is CUMC, which is my church task. Okay. So all I did was I highlighted all of these things that needed to be done, like so. I went up to my list of customized tags. I went down to my church tag list and I clicked that and it put all of these little CUMC task tags next to that. Okay. And remember, when I do customized tags, I like to use checkboxes so that when I have finished something, I can check them off. All right. So now on the week of June 5th, I have these three items that I need to do. Okay. If I did nothing else with them, they wouldn't get lost, because if I did a tag summary, they would come up under church tasks to be done. But during part of my weekly process, so during my weekly review, which I have down here for Friday, what I do is, as I'm going and setting up the next week, I take a look at all of the information from this page and I carry forward to the next week anything that needs to be done. So Friday afternoon, I sat down, I created my next week. So let me jump to that. So here I am for the week of June 12th through the 18th. And Friday afternoon, I sat down and said, okay, what is my top focus for next week? Well, that quilt binding is now half done. I've got to finish the other half. I've got to get church pictures to Debbie. And I want to work on that secretary. So again, you can see I have picked little activities that I need to do to move each one of the projects that I'm working on along to the next level. Okay. And you see my projects are listed right here. So you can see that I am working on those. All right. But I also added to my list of things to do to start gathering church pictures for the 150th anniversary. Okay. And I knew that some of those are stored in Flickr, so I want to see if that link will work for me to send those things to the pastor. And I also want to talk to my friend Bobby about the rededication ceremony, okay? So I put those there as priority things to do when this week started, okay? Now, as luck would have it, my friend Bobby called me on Monday evening, and I was able to talk to him. And again, I had my notebook open, and I simply made a note here that I spoke to him about the Cornerstone rededication, and he is going to talk to the people that need to be talked to about that, okay? So again, now that's something that I am now waiting on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to highlight that. And again, I'm going to go up to my tags, and I'm going to go all the way down to waiting on. That means I've delegated that to someone else, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. Again, when I do my tag summary, that will not get lost because it will come up in the tag summary, okay? Then, the next day, I got a message from a lady named Sarah who attends our church, and she was sending me the graphics of the artwork that she had so that they could be kept in multiple places. And so I was very grateful that she was sending me the graphic for the tote bag that we might create. But I happened to mention to her that we had also done polo shirts. She said, yes, we printed those for you, and I still have the artwork, and I still have the access to the shirts, and she was going to set up an online account for us. Great, that is fantastic. My work is getting very easy because I have all these wonderful people supporting me. So again, I made a note about what Sarah said to me, okay? And again, that is something that I'm waiting on. She is going to set up that online account for us so that people can order their shirts. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to click waiting on, and then it puts that little waiting on box there. Once I know that Sarah has set that up, I can come back in here, check that it's been done, and move on. Then you can see down here that I had the thought after talking to Bobby and talking to Sarah, it is time for me to set up a project plan for homecoming, because while I thought this was going to be simple and it was things that I was doing for other people, now it seems that I have a lot of communication back and forth. That means it's time to set up a project plan so that I can take all those bits and pieces and put them together in one particular place, okay? So then what I sat down to do this morning is to go over into my project folder, and this is where I store all of my projects. So this here you see is the latest project that I was doing. But I do have a projects master that is here that has all of my general project information in it, okay? So what I need to do is I need to go up here and make a copy of that. So I'm going to click on that, go to copy or move. I'm going to leave it in projects, my current section, and I'm going to make a copy. Now down here at the bottom of the screen, I now have that copy, okay? So what I can do, just like I do with most of my pages, I have the format there, but I can get rid of the things that I don't need, okay? All right, so let's move this contact out of the way for a while. We're not decorating the dining room, so I'm going to get rid of that picture. But I am going to come in here and I will add Sarah's name, her company address, phone number, all of that kind of stuff for contact for Sarah. And then I am also going to duplicate this box. and I will paste it next to that, and I will put in contact information for Bobby for the rededication part. So now I have contact information for both of those people, which I will fill in after the video because of privacy reasons. Okay, but I can come over here right away and I can say that this is CUMC 150th homecoming. All right, and then I have a place to start putting, why are we doing this and what is our outcome? We usually have guest speakers and we usually have dinner, and it's kind of a big production. This year we might add that additional ceremony and that kind of thing. We have the target date, which I can fill in there, which I said was in September. And that lets me know, how long I have to work on this project, okay? The next section that I have down here is a list of tasks that I might need to do, what their context is. Maybe one's related to the, the giveaways that we're doing. Maybe one's related to the rededication. Maybe one is related to the dinner or the guest speaker, all of that kind of thing. So I have what context they're in, what priority that might be done, and then the date that they are due, okay? I also have a place down here for an expense tracker. If I need to purchase items for homecoming so that I can be reimbursed if necessary from the church. I don't usually turn that stuff in. I count that as part of my donation, but it's there if I need it. Okay. All right. And then over here, as you've seen in my project plans before, I have these kinds of things for milestones. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of these sets of milestones here, and I'm going to move that down here, and we will actually make this box a little bit smaller. And this is going to be where I'm going to put the picture of the tote bag. So for now, I'm just going to put the word tote bag in there. Once I get the artwork for that, I will put that in there so I know what that looks like. And I know that these milestones will relate to that. So decide on graphics, decide on colors of bag and graphics. Then I need to determine number to order, place order, those kinds of things. So the milestones is getting that tote bag done. These are the major steps that I'm going to need to go through to get that done. Okay. Same thing with the rededication ceremony. I don't know that there's going to be a lot involved with that. It may be that I just turn that over to somebody else, delegate that to somebody else. That's great. But if I need another milestone section, I have that there. If I need more spaces to put pictures for things that we're doing, I have these empty boxes there. So having all of these things stored on the page, if I need to use them, is a great thing to have. I can add more lists if I need to. I can add more pictures if I need to. All of that works to putting together a project plan. As you can see, I went from attending a meeting back here on Monday the 5th to coming up with task items that I needed to do, which then turned into communications with somebody else, which then turned into creating a project plan so that I can track all of that information and have it all in one place. Okay. So what I'm going to do for my week that I am currently in, because I've just created that project plan, is I'm going to go up here to my project section and I'm going to go to table and say insert below. And that's going to put a new row for me. And now I'm going to make a link to that project plan. Okay. So back here in projects, we had the homecoming. I'm going to rename this Homecoming. And I'll put 150 next to it because we do homecoming every year, but this is the big year celebration. I'm going to come in here to this page now that I have it named properly, right click on the page and copy a link to this page. All right. Then I'm going to go back to June, to this week that I'm currently working in, and I'm going to go up to my insert tab and I'm going to insert a link. Okay. That brings up this dialog box. And in this dialog box, I can type in a title. So that's what I want to appear on my screen. And then I simply can paste that link that I copied right in that box, okay? If I didn't want to paste the link, if I hadn't done it that way, there is another way to do it. I could go down here into my 2023 Life Planner. And you can see I could go into projects and click projects, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there is homecoming. I could choose that and say, okay, either way works, but now I have an additional project, CUMC Homecoming 150. And if I click on that, it takes me right to this homecoming page where I have all the contact information, all of my milestones, a place to put my tasks, and all of that kind of thing, okay? All right, so like I was showing you, it really is helpful when you look at this greenhouse move project that I had. You know, it was very helpful to have all of my tasks listed here and to check them off when they were done and to record actually when they were done. Now, this happened to be a project that was no money required, didn't cost me anything, just physically moving my greenhouse from one location to the other, okay? All right, and I will keep this because in the fall, in October, you see here, I probably will move the greenhouse back to the backyard where it will get more sun during the wintertime, all right? I don't have to rethink about all those steps. They're all written down here for me, all right? So that is one example about how I use my planner on a daily, weekly basis to move tasks from one week to the next and to move projects from one step to the next to work on the completion of those tasks, okay? There's one other thing that I want to show you. If you go back to that week of June 5th, you see I needed to buy cat collars, okay? And so I did that during the week, but when you get to the week of June 12th, you'll see now that I am now waiting on those cat collars to arrive, okay? So I have a little waiting on tab here, and actually while I was at it, I bought a couple of other things on Amazon, and I put those on the list and put waiting on as well, okay? Now, I said to you that when I did a tag summary thing, when I did a tag summary page, that those waiting on items, including the things that I had delegated, would show up. If you're not familiar with the tag summary, I want to show you that real quick, okay? So I'm going to go up here to this Find Tags, and I'm going to click on that, and you see the tag summary page is building over here on the far right hand of my screen, okay? I'm not worried about all these other things right now. I want to get down to the bottom to show you my waiting on list, okay? So here's my waiting on list, and you can see on that list, cat collars is there. When they come in, I can click them off, check them off, and they will also be checked off here on the page. It does that automatically, okay? All right, now, I also have this note here about Sarah having the artwork. Maybe I don't remember what that's about. What is that about? I don't remember. If I click on it, it will take me to the exact page and highlight for me the exact thing that I noted that I was waiting on, okay? So I think that's really cool. Again, here's that spoke to Bobby about the cornerstone. And again, if I click on that, you see that it highlights that for me. If I click on cat collars, when did I order those? Ah, there's cat collars. What was that week? Oh, that was the week of June 12th. That's when I'm waiting on those cat collars, okay? So it's all very, very helpful to have this tag summary and to keep things organized with these various tags. I don't have to keep jumping back from page to page. Where's my waiting on list? Where's my to buy list? Where's my things that I need to do for church list? I don't have to keep separate pages with all of those things on them. I can keep it all on one page, so it's the top of my mind for the entire week. But when I need a summary, I can do my tag summary and it will take me back to that exact page. Imagine if a paper planner worked like that. Imagine if you could just hold your paper planner and say, show me the conversation I had with Sarah, and your planner would open up and a highlight would come on that planner page. Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, it is awesome and it is possible in OneNote, and that is one of the reasons that I love it so much. Well, anyway, I just really wanted to give you a very practical use for the planners that I keep track of here in OneNote. I think they're fabulous. I don't know what I would do without them. And it seems that the more I use them, the more I find to use them for. Anyway, if you have learned anything new today, please give me a like down below. Let me know what projects you're currently working on for this season, the month of June. And, think about subscribing if you've enjoyed this content today. Being a subscriber really just doesn't cost you anything. It just means that you get access to all of the content that we put out. And it, more importantly, lets YouTube know that people out there are enjoying what they're seeing on the channel. And it helps to promote the channel a little bit more so that more people can join us. Okay? All right. Well, until next time. Here's hoping that you can live a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time. Okay, bye.